Here are your Court News Ohio top stories in 5 minutes. The Ohio Supreme Court sanctioned a law firm's former managing partner for accepting $28,000 in guns in lieu of payment for legal services provided by other firm attorneys. He also didn't reimburse the firm for the firearms until he was confronted 4 years later. In a 6-1 decision, Keith A. Vanderberg of Independence received a 1-year fully stayed suspension. The stipulations include not violating any of the rules governing the conduct of Ohio lawyers and to pay the costs of his disciplinary proceedings. Twice a year, the Ohio Supreme Court takes a recess from the Thomas J. Moyer Ohio Judicial Center.
As our television audience and web viewers can see, we are in a high school auditorium today.
And brings oral arguments right to its citizens elsewhere in the state.
I thought it was just fascinating to see how the highest court does everything and how they just sit there and take it in.
In its 77th edition of Off-Site Court, Ohio's court of last resort went to Montpelier High School in Williams County, in the northwest corner of the state.
Chief Justice O'Connor, may it please the court.
I've seen trials, but it was just brand new and new experience to see it in real life. I was intrigued the whole entire time, watching intently.
Along with seeing the justices in action,
how would we even start to look at the things you're pointing out?
Students from 8 area high schools saw how the attorneys not only handled themselves under the spotlight,
so I'm happy to take any other questions,
but also how they handled the crowd.
Other questions?
As they debriefed their cases.
It would be kind of intruding on the rights and powers of the legislature.
Prior to the proceedings, students also got the chance to ask the justices about anything, such as how they deliberate.
Sometimes we have one opinion on something, sometimes we have 7 opinions on something, but we have to weigh in majority rules.
How they became justices.
For all of you who have a pathway that you think you see so clearly right now, it's to be open about the opportunities that lay ahead.
And how they balance work and home life.
We're just human beings. We don't walk on water. We put a black robot to do our job.
Whether it was professional exposure or personal enlightenment, the day's events left an impression on everyone in attendance, especially those considering the law.
Like the justices and the lawyers said, they discussed the impact that they get to have on people in their lives. I thought it was a very compelling experience to want to join this kind of field.
On a fall morning in downtown Cincinnati, the early birds grab a bite to start their day. At the center of the city is the Hamilton County Courthouse, where there's a slightly different look and sound outside the building. Along with the typical passers-by, hundreds of people gathered for a special occasion.
This morning, we gather together in the spirit of wholehearted tribute to those who planted the seeds of justice.
The salute to this center of justice comes on its 100th anniversary.
They said in their writings, there is no shoddy material in this building. It is fit to stand for 100 years. And we are here to say it has done its job.
They don't make them like this anymore. So it really is special that we can still use and enjoy and benefit from this building.
The event was organized by Hamilton County Common Pleas Court Judge Melba Marsh. Her history with the structure is as storied as anybody's.
This is the money shot.
She started working at the courthouse when she was just 15. Since then, she's served as an assistant prosecutor, municipal court judge, and became the first female and African American to be presiding judge of the Common Pleas Court.
It's the people who are inside that building that make it just, make it merciful, make it equality. And you have to stand up for those things. And this is the building where standing up counts the most.
Words by then U.S. Senator and future President Warren Harding at the original unveiling continue to provide purpose for those working to uphold the law.
It is a very fitting thing in dedicating this temple of justice and seat of government to dedicate ourselves anew.
While that message may get lost with time, the building remains as a symbol and a guide with its judicial foundations etched in stone.
It's like the building is talking to you and saying, this is what we're about. This is what you should be about.
And that's a look at Court News Ohio's top stories. Visit courtnewsohio.gov for the latest headlines on Ohio's courts. You can also follow us on Facebook and Twitter.